Hey guys, it's me, Randy. A lot of you may or may not know me, but one of the things that I get to do is I get to share my story. My story is a redeeming story, a story about how God brought me back home and saved me. It's a short story, and I'll make it simple because I don't want to give Satan any of the glory. I grew up in a Christian home and I attended church regularly. Now, when I say I attended church regularly, mom and dad made me go every single time the doors were open. Now, as I graduated high school, I had received Jesus Christ, but as a young adult at the age of 19, I became very involved in church music and became a bivocational minister of music. I served on the staff of various churches for 23 years. As a part of this, I did a lot of different roles. I sometimes was a Sunday school teacher. Sometimes I was the youth director. I was involved in deacon ministries, prison ministries, and whatever else was necessary as a part of being a minister of music in a young and growing church. As a part of that life, I felt God calling me officially into the ministry, and I accepted that call. I was licensed by one church, and then after a couple of years, I was ordained as a Baptist minister. It seemed that God was blessing me, and everything from the outside perhaps looked perfect. I had a great job. I had a good family that looked wonderful from the outside, and everything was smiles. But isn't that what we're taught as Christians that go to church? Christians never have any trouble. Of course, nothing could have been any further from the truth. After 2 decades of service and marriage, I experienced a serious crisis of faith. It was the start of what I call my road to the pig pen, just like the prodigal son. I left my marriage, and my life became nothing short of a complete lie. I went to church every Sunday. I led the praise team, but personal pleasure had become my God. Now, after nearly 5 years of walking down my own road, I found myself unemployed, alone, standing staring at a sign trying to find directions in the mall in Washington, D.C. The only thing I could think of was my own demise. Had I been a stronger man, I would have gone through with my plans, but I went home and continued to walk down my own path. Fast forward a couple of weeks. I found myself once again alone, in the dark, my laptop on my lap, once again pursuing some type of diversion. In the glow of that laptop screen, I could see the scar that's on the back of my left hand. It was as if Christ was reminding me of his scars and what he did for me. All I could hear was him telling me he loved me and he wanted me to come back home. And just like the prodigal son, I got down on my knees, had tears streaming down my face, and I rededicated my life to Christ. In the days that followed, I began to question everything that I had believed about God. How could I, a man, walk away from God the way that I did after serving him so faithfully all those years? I read the Bible and I prayed. I sought the truth and understanding. It was perhaps the most challenging time of soul searching and introspection I have ever faced. Eventually, I came to the conclusion that I had previously been living my life based on religious rules and expectations rather than on a deep personal connection with God. I was determined to find my way to a genuine faith. I committed myself to seeking him with an open heart and mind. I let go of the fears and insecurities that had been holding me back, and I embraced the freedom and peace that comes from this true relationship with Christ. Today, my faith is stronger than ever. I have a deep love and a respect for God, and I'm committed to living out my beliefs with integrity and humility. I am grateful for the journey that led me to this place of renewed faith, and I'm excited to see how God will continue to work in my life. Shortly after I rededicated my life, I had moved to Oxford, and of course I met Susan. She and I have the most wonderful life together. Over the past 14 years together, we've seen 6 grandchildren, multiple trips, and we serve each other faithfully side by side as we work for Christ. But I want to share that through my experiences, I have learned that true faith is not about blindly following rules or traditions. True faith is about having a personal relationship with God, based first on love and trust. It is about seeking truth even when it is difficult, and staying true to one's beliefs even in the face of challenges. You know, as I've shared my story, I hope that my testimony will encourage you to examine your own faith. If you don't know Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior, I invite you to come. If you do know Him, I invite you to seek that deeper relationship with Christ. If you've walked away from Him, just as the Father with the prodigal son, He is waiting for you, watching.
My heart and my soul, I give you control. Consume me from the inside out, Lord. Let justice and praise become my